All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'm gonna give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles, great millstone who were well. And salutation, much love to Yakim out there pushing out this word in truth and sincerity. Is the brother Osh from Great Millstone, Tampa, back with another live lesson. Lord's will is going to be edifying to the hopeful elect. And, it's going to go in the spirit here of this video brother had posted up. Put it on the screen. All right, and it's called "The Price of Fame." Oh, the Price of Fame. Must watch GMS get this work. Go ahead and subscribe to that brother's channel. And pretty much, let me see here. Yeah. So pretty much, it's gonna be a testimony of some dude. All right. So lucky. Let me turn that down from the media, social media, crowd. And so I'm just gonna bring out this edification on the Lord's will. It's edifying because it's it sounds similar to the movie. What's it called? Eyes Wide. What is it? Eyes Wide Shut. Okay. Let me see here. Actually, yeah, Eyes Wide Shut. All right. And so I'm gonna bring out scriptures though to prove that there's a heavy demonic vibe out there, and these people that you claim to be social media experts and the TikTokers, your favorite YouTuber, your favorite Instagrammer, your favorite TikToker, your favorite athlete, movie star, all that, anybody pretty much you see on the TV that gets pushed out there, the radio, music, whatever. These people have sold their souls, okay? And this guy's story, and I'm not vouching for him. I wasn't there. I ain't telling you is a true story, but this we've been telling you about these seances and these wicked, wicked sacrifices and wicked acts these people do to get to the certain level they get to, and who's doing it, who's the one allowing these people to get to this level. All right, so we'll go ahead and start here. Matthew 16 and 26. For what is a man profited if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange for a soul? And it seems like in this case, our people, especially because that's who Esau ultimately wants. He don't give a damn about his own people, but he wants you Israelites to sell your soul. All right. So let me get that in the G and not GNT in the other version NLT in the NIV. Let's just see what it says real quick. Matthew 16 and verse 26. It reads, "And what do you benefit if you gain the whole world but lose your own soul? Is anything worth more than your soul?" And that's why these people end up getting bugged out. You see them, losing their damn minds on the internet because once Satan is done with you, he just gets rid of you. He don't care about the contract you signed with your blood. And we're gonna get into it because this guy talks about something that's from what I understand is the mark of the beast. But we'll get there. So let's go ahead and just play this. Comment boards if it's loud enough, or if it's too loud.
So this story is the reason I stopped making content for 5 years. You guys remember?
Right, and I'm gonna let him. I'm gonna speed it up, try to get through this whole video, but I'll stop it when I want to bring out certain points in scriptures. All right, because everything they go about to go into, I'm gonna to pretty much bring out scriptures on it and then correlate it or bring it back to this movie again. There's a movie called um, Eyes Wide Shut. Okay, let's see here. Wide Shut. I don't want to get to that part yet. The movie Eyes Wide Shut, right here from 1999, with this devil or this fucking Mission Impossible dude. What's it? Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman. If you haven't seen it, check it out. But yeah, that's the movie pretty much that I was reminded of when I was listening to this guy. And again, I'm not saying this is exact happened, but you'll see as we go on. It doesn't sound far-fetched. Let's put it like that, because we know who the devil is. We're not ignorant of Satan's devices.
When all those Vine stars and skit Instagrammers moved to LA in like 2015-ish. So I wasn't a huge creator at the time, but I was there and around it all as all of that stuff was happening. I moved from Chicago to LA 3 weeks after high school with like $2,000 in my pocket that I saved up working at Steak and Shake with this other aspiring creator named David. I was much more into editing and being behind the camera at that time, and he was much more into Vine and vlogs and being on camera. That time of our lives was absolutely crazy. Everybody was broke, posting anything we could onto YouTube to get some attention. I happened to get a spot at the now notorious 1600 Vine Apartments, and David got a spot a little bit closer to USC. Everyone was collaborating with everyone, and it was the era of clickbait YouTube. And to be
right, so if you go into this movie, The Eyes Wide Shut, this is from 1999. So in the movie, it was a bunch of models, rich guys, doctors, things, that nature. Because in 1999, there was no social media. But now this guy's talking about 2015 era. So as you see, as we go in this video, you can see the correlation between the movie and this guy, which is not an exact correlation, but I'm going to tie it all together. You'll see, because we know this to be a fact that they'd be doing these weirdo parties. Ain't they getting that for Diddy right now? Did he go to the Diddy party? Well, it's beyond Diddy. Diddy went to the party originally, and then he was a predator for the, a recruiter, which you'll get the point if you stick along.
To be honest, it was extremely fun for the first few months until Hollywood started.
And I also want to point out, look at the letters, the colors he's using. Again, this guy's trying to expose the industry, but here he has a platinum or gold plaque from YouTube. Okay, so just always understand that everybody ain't representing truly what they truly believe. It's called controlled opposition. So just notice the colors of the letters as they put him up there. I don't know if the brother did. I doubt it, but just notice the color of the letters as we go on.
To notice that influencers were the next big thing, and that the landscape of the industry was changing. And we started to get invited to more exclusive parties and events, where it seemed as if old Hollywood was almost grooming new Hollywood. And there was rumors of this one gathering that was happening on a monthly basis, where it seemed like anybody.
Yeah, and you see that in the movie. Okay, the guy in the movie, he's telling Tom Cruise, yeah, I go to these events all the time. I play the piano blindfolded. Okay. So these things happen often. What do you think these social media influencers, as they call them, right? Because you got to have a certain amount of followers to become an influencer. Who do you think's allowing them to get there? What do they have to do? All these bimbos and athletes and influencers and Hollywood celebrities, they're all a bunch of freaks, okay? And the ones that don't want to sell out, they never be heard from again, or they never go to the next level. But again, the Hollywood is through. You got people on social media that are more famous than Hollywood actors. Got a blockbuster movie, but nobody know who you are. But you got this nigga, the Logan brothers, or whatever the hell they're called, the Paul brothers, and they're everybody know them. Yeah, they turned out little Disney characters.
That got invited saw a massive jump in their numbers, secured huge brand deals right after attending. But apparently this gathering worked on a buddy system. Someone had to vouch for you and bring you as a guest. And by blind luck, me and David ended up getting invited. Some talent agent saw me and David shoot a silly skit at a random party. He didn't invite us that second. He just told us that he saw something special in us.
Yeah, so next time you see a faggot doing a stupid skit on TikTok, you know what they're doing it for. It's for the fame, okay? And if they start exploding, they already been backwards for somebody.
Took our contact information. And listen, people do that all the time in LA, but this guy had a different feel to him. He wasn't trying to convince us he had connections or hype himself up like everybody else does. He was just super calm and had a sharp way of speaking that demanded respect. He was extremely brief, and after getting our numbers, he just said, look out for the invite, and walked away. And this is where it gets weird. I never gave this guy my address. I only gave him my number, but I ended up getting an invitation by letter. And at the time, I thought that was so cool. But in retrospect, as an adult looking back at it, that alone was a huge violation of privacy and a major red flag. But at the time, when I tell you, I was absolutely.
And again, pay attention to these colors that they're displaying with the letters. All right. Again, this guy's an influencer. Clearly, he got that plaque in the background. So you think he's trying to expose somebody? Nigga, you exposing yourself, just like the rest of these boneheads that come out like Cat Williams. That nigga went to these parties, bro. Guaranteed.
buzzing with excitement. When I got it, the letter was so extravagant and detailed. It was gold with black and red lettering that read something like, "Your talents have been noted, your name has been endorsed, and I'll never forget this part. The dreams you have been chasing are a night away through the seventh heaven." And the address was a beautiful.
You heard that? That's enticing. That's the devil, right? And just bear with me a couple more minutes, and I got plenty of scriptures coming.
Home in Laurel Canyon that was set to happen that weekend. It also noted to not be a minute late and not to expect to leave before midnight. And at the time, it felt like the Willy Wonka golden ticket. And the excitement doubled when I got a text from David at the same time, in all caps saying, "Did you get one too?" I felt like our lives were about to change. And I was right. David blew up after this party, and I had to go into hiding. I felt like our lives were about to change. And I was right. David blew up after this party, and I had to go into hiding. When I tell you I was on cloud nine leading up to that party, I was so young and naive and delusionally optimistic. I truly believed that I was going to go to this party and leave rich, because it literally seemed like that was happening to the creator.
There you go. He thought he was going to go to the party and leave rich. And what does the scripture say about the love of money is the root of all evil? Okay, so there's these young little YouTubers and social media niggas that blowing up at young ages, living in LA or living in Miami or New York, whatever. These dudes, look, they're not getting on that level for just doing some videos. Okay, they're bending over and doing some atrocious acts, selling their souls. All right, and don't worry, the mark of the beast is tied into this. You'll see.
Creators around me that attended. I was hyped. I've never been a braggy person, but when you're young and excited, you get consumed by good news and want to talk to your friends and peers about it. So everybody that I chatted with who I knew was a content creator and was in the know about this party, I couldn't help but to tell them. And all the feedback was positive and along the lines of, "Let me know how it goes," or "Can you try to get me into the next one?" And even some from bigger creators saying, "I'll see you there," with like a little.
Yeah, a bunch of weirdos, because they know what you were about to get into. A bunch of flaming moes. Couldn't see you get in there and get shamed and humiliated as they did. And that's why all of a sudden these rape charges come up, all right, from years ago, like Cosby, R. Kelly, they've been had them footage. Come on, man. And he's gonna go into it in this video. And again, they show you a glimpse of it in the movie Eyes Wide Shut. Okay. For the love of money, these people are going above and beyond, doing some atrocious acts and partaking in these rituals, all right, and sacrifices to Satan. This is real, okay? They're like the scriptures. Matter of fact, let's get a scripture real quick. Let me see here. It's in Thessalonians? Let me see here. No, Ephesians 6:12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. These people handing out deals, all right, inviting them to parties, special millionaire parties with the celebrities, and you got to sign an NDAA. That's all a bunch of Satan worshiping that goes down in them mansions. Right, the bigger the house, the more the wickedness goes on.
Smirk on their face, like they were pumped for me. Except for one conversation with a creator that most of you probably know. This creator is an extremely positive guy, and he's one of the most wholesome, bubbly, genuine guys I met out there. And when I told him the good news, he looked at me like I told him a tsunami was headed towards the building. The usual joy that this man brought to every conversation turned into real fear and concern, and he made me leave the lobby and come up to his apartment before explaining anything to me. Like he was scared that somebody was going to overhear our conversation. When we got up to his apartment, he was just pacing, like he had no idea how to start this conversation. But
yeah, because that's the people they might blow up a little bit, but they're never going to get to the elite level. They might have went to one of them parties, didn't want to get down. And again, you see how the numbers or the letters keep changing colors. Keep that in mind. And even his background colors. But nonetheless, these people never be heard again from, You heard the one-hitter quitters, they call them, or one-hit wonders. Wonder why.
When he finally spoke up, all he said was, "Listen, Doug, I know you're excited, but I'm begging you, please do not go. That man is not who you think he is." He was being so frantic, and I could see tears welling up in this guy's eyes. But I was young, and I thought that I knew everything. I didn't even think the talent agent that sent us the invite was important. I was interested in the connections, and I didn't really care if the talent agent was shady, or if his intention was to sign me to a bad deal. I thought I'd just say no to any bad contract that he'd try to send, but still get to reap all the benefits of the party. So I tried to pry a little bit and ask follow-up questions, but all he gave me was, "I have a friend who went, and he hasn't been the same since he didn't cooperate. I don't know what he saw or what they did to him, but Doug, I do not want to see that happen to you. I don't know what he saw or what they did to him, but Doug, I do not want to see that happen to you." I start reassuring him that it won't make me do anything that I don't want to do. I don't even drink, let alone take any party favors. So peer pressure isn't much of an issue for me. I make up a lie to get out of the situation because, to be honest, I selfishly wanted to stay excited about this party, and I really didn't want to hear anything negative about it. So I jokingly told him that I texted him when I got home and that I had to leave to edit some videos tonight. What I was really doing was calling my dad to beg him for $100 to buy a rental suit. Mind you, we were all still poor, and I was living.
You see, You see what people will do in the face of being warned, just like when we warn people. People don't care. They want to what? They want to go live their best life. And if you get invited, if the average person gets invited to a mansion party, they're gonna go. They're gonna go. That's a fact.
In an apartment that I could barely afford. My dad reluctantly sent me the money, and I immediately texted David to pick me up tomorrow at 5 p.m. so we could both get our suits before the party and grab food before we head to the party at 11. When David picked me up the next day, he was so excited and in such a great mood that I had to hide my concerns from him, at least while we were shopping for the rental suits. I had to manufacture excitement because David always has his camera out, and I wouldn't just be spoiling the mood, I would be ruining the content that he was trying to record. So I went along with it throughout the shopping process. Our plan was to drop his car off at my apartment, walk to the In-N-Out Burger on Sunset Boulevard, eat, and then change into our suits in the bathroom.
You see how above and beyond people go to a millionaire party where they think they're gonna get fame and money. He going through all this just to get in the door, not knowing that the wickedness that he was about to walk into. And again, I don't know if this is a true story, but it's not far-fetched.
And hop into the Uber, so we didn't smell like burgers. When we finally sat down to eat, I took that opportunity to bring up the warning that my friend gave me the day before in his apartment. I told him everything that he said to me and how scared he looked when he said it, and that I was feeling a little bit worried about going to this party. David cut me off before I even got to finish my sentence and firmly said we're going, and then went on a rant about how my friend is a jealous cloud chaser and that he's just salty that his content isn't good enough and would never.
Who that? The Island Boys? The Island Boys. Just trying to make it. Didn't they say that?
Said we're going, and then went on a rant about how my friend is a jealous cloud.
And we know that these two Muppets have been found on Epstein Island as young boys, as children. These two fucking island boy, the demonic demons. Look at them. You can tell they've been through hell. You can tell that they've gone and seen and witnessed and been and partaken in some rituals, right? Some demonic rituals, which usually involves lust, which leads to sexual acts. Come on, look at them. That ain't normal people right there. They've been touched since they was children. You can tell by looking at them. But a lot of people want to get to this kind of status, little TikTokers and, mumble rap, Bart Simpson looking niggas.
Jason, and that he's just salty that his content isn't good enough and would never.
Yeah, the dude. Yeah, you're right. He do got. Look at him. He got the umbrellas and all.
Be invited to something.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, he don't believe. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, it could be controlled opposition, man. Because Esau not finna let you just put out his business out there. Just like Alex Jones claimed to just pulled up on them niggas at the Bohemian Grove, and they just let him go. Come on, man. He was there for a reason. Alex Jones. Come on. We see we're not ignorant of Satan's devices. We see past the bullshit of YouTube and TikTok. We know you people got a platform for a reason, because we ain't got no platform whatsoever. And this goes for the sellouts in the nation of Israel. All right. This goes for them too. They got a big platforms for reasons. So who knows what they doing?
Like this. He said it in a half serious, half joking tone like he always does when he wants to get his way. Then he finished off by guilting me and saying, "Doug, don't ruin this opportunity for us. Please just get through this party for me." I'd never.
Yeah, well, that's why the scriptures say, follow not a multitude to the wickedness. Point blank, period. You should have told that nigga to kick rocks and eat your In-N-Out burger and went home.
Heard anybody talk about my friend that way, but I'd known David for so much longer, so I trusted his judgment. So I nodded my head and called the Uber. We changed in the bathrooms and hopped into the Uber, and David starts recording again. So I have to.
All right, so now we're about to get into his account, which again, we're gonna get into it. Different scriptures of well, if you haven't seen this video, well, you're gonna watch it now. So either way, pay attention.
Tend to be excited again. But once we got off the side streets and started driving up Laurel Canyon, I started getting anxious and internally panicking. If you're not familiar with Laurel Canyon, it's filled with beautiful homes, but at night it's extremely dark and borderline freaky, especially when you consider all the history with the Manson murders in that area.
Right, and I looked up that area. It's a bunch of demons that live out there, rock and roll legends, and just a bunch of degenerate people from LA. Okay, nigga, come on, Marilyn Manson known for that. That's what the city's known for, or Laurel Canyons. I've looked it up. It's true.
Part of me feels like we're dropping ourselves off into a setup. But once we arrive,
right, and if you watch the movie Eyes Wide Shut, it's based in New York, but it was the same situation. A house out there in nowhere, middle of nowhere, nice ass house, mansion, millionaires, if not billionaire status type shit. All right, and that's where they entice you, especially you women. All right, because if you watch that movie, Eyes Wide Shut, it was that particular party, as they called it in the movie, was a ritual for the women. All right, which we later in the movie find out there were a bunch of harlots, models, all right, and prostitutes, which is all one and the same. Only now we got new terms, call them OnlyFans, uh, Instagram models, and influencers. Same shit. 20 years later.
Drive, all of my worries get washed away. We pull into the driveway, and this house is beautiful and extravagant. And everyone waiting in line to walk in is smiling and laughing and friendly. So I get excited again. At the door, they take our phones and have us sign an NDA, which isn't.
When the nigga tell you gotta sign an NDA, is because they don't want you to tell what you about to see or what you about to partake in. That's why it's uncommon, because everybody ain't pulling up to these mansion parties and doing so. And I know people that have gone to mansion parties and they didn't want to say nothing. So I don't know what went down, but it's all starting to make sense now.
Uncommon in house parties like this in LA. And they give us a mask and a name tag with funny aliases. My mask looked like a bear and David's looked like a bird.
Right, so this is when it starts to get into similar of the movie. All right, as you see the thumbnail of the video, they all had masks on. They were dressed in black. Some of them were dressed in red. All right, but it was a bunch of freaks in there. So they had masks on, but in aliases, right? What do you need an alias for?
Alias was Stardust, which David got a crack out of, and his was Benji. We enter what you could call like the lobby of the house, and as we're walking in, the apparent host of the party starts giving a speech. This man is very eccentric and outspoken.
Right, so this is the first room. All right, he's going into the first room that he called it the lobby of the house, where all the guests are lined up with the host.
And he's got the cadence of a late night show host. And I spot the agent that invited.
Yeah, he that's probably because he was a late night show host, a nigga that's on Saturday Night Live or one of these late night shows, talk shows.
Us standing right behind him. The speech was basically just encouraging everybody to have fun and explaining the idea.
Yeah, have fun. Just have fun. See, this is how they get you. This is how the devil entices you. Remember what I'll bring it out later. Remember, the serpent came to Eve in the garden, and we know how that went. So they start him off talking about fun. You're gonna have fun.
Itinerary of the night. Apparently, this was a themed room party, and all of the guests.
So there's different rooms, different themes, and they just telling them to have fun.
Guests were instructed to move to the next room whenever the grandfather clock chimed. He wrapped up his speech with some cheeky joke, and then one.
I hope you've been paying attention to the colors of the words.
Line that still irks me to this day. He said, "Have fun now. Our descent starts at midnight." I tried to give.
He said, "Have fun now, because your descent starts at midnight." Ecclesiastes 10:6. Folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in low place. So what they tell you to have fun now, the descent starts at midnight, because we're gonna see, they're about to go through those different rooms, which are themed differently, colored differently, as we're about to listen to, and it's ultimately tying into something that was created by the Catholic Church. All right, it's called the seven deadly sins. All right, which that we know that's not biblical. There's no such scripture. Don't say these are the seven deadly sins, as they know it as anyway. Pride, lust, gluttony, things like that. That's not biblical as far as seven deadly lusts. This was later created actually by Jake as the Pope, which we'll get to in a little later. But ultimately, it was revamped under Edomites once they took over the papacy or the Pope. All right, we'll get there though. So again, these rooms are all based off of seven deadly sins. Yeah, you can if you read Dante's Inferno and the whole book, I forgot what it's called. It was like a three-part screen or a three-part series, so to say. Dante's Inferno. I can't remember what the other ones were, but I know it starts with Dante's Inferno.
David the eyes that I didn't like where this party was going. This type of behavior from people that I saw as adults made me extremely uncomfortable. The moment the host wrapped up his speech, a couple of workers came out of the doorway. They were holding a couple sets of long poles. All of a sudden, music started playing and everybody seemed like they knew what was going on. So I just went along with it. So I guess these parties start off with a big game of limbo. It's funny seeing
they're playing limbo, playing games, folly. It's a bunch of niggas having fun in the first room. You know, celebrities in there. You think, oh shit, this is lit. Oh, I got J-Lo over there. You got Diddy over here. You know, you got all kind of niggas going crazy. And you're like, hold on, what's going on here? Maybe this is gonna be a good time.
people dressed so nicely playing a silly child's game. But it's even weirder seeing A-list celebrities being so excited to play. Because everybody had masks on, but when somebody that you grew up watching in movies walks by you with a quarter of their face covered, you still know it's them. I was amazed with how inviting.
Yeah, you see The Rock, the big ass nigga, The Rock, Dwayne Johnson walk by with a little goggles on. You can clearly know that's The Rock. But again, these are the people that partake in these perverse events. All right.
And willing to introduce themselves, these people were. I was expecting at least an undertone of uppityness in there, but it seemed like everybody was involving everybody in conversation, and they were frequently introducing themselves to me with their alias, of course. The only thing weird about it was something that I didn't.
All right, and so this is the part I'm going to correlate to this the mark of the beast right here. I'm just going to let him say it, and then I'm going to pause it, and then we're going to get back to it later in the video. Pay close attention what he's going to say. Run it back a couple seconds.
Themselves to me with their alias, of course. Everybody had masks on, but when somebody that you grew up watching in movies walks by you with a quarter of their face covered, you still know it's them. I was amazed with how inviting and willing to introduce themselves these people were. I was expecting at least an undertone of uppityness in there, but it seemed like everybody was involving everybody in conversation, and they were
Yeah, they were all uppity because they were all happy to be there because they're all a bunch of demons.
Frequently introducing themselves to me with their alias, of course. The only thing weird about it was something that I didn't notice until the third person did it. When they shook my hand, they pressed their thumb into the soft part between my thumb and my pointer finger. And it was something that I didn't notice until the third person did it. When they shook my hand, they pressed their thumb into the soft part between my thumb and my pointer finger. And I only recognized, of course. The only thing weird about it was something that I didn't notice until the third person did it. When they shook my hand, they pressed their thumb into the soft part between my.
So when they were introducing them, you know, doing their Masonic handshakes, what were they doing? They were pressing between his thumb, his index finger, and the soft spot. Okay.
Thumb and my pointer finger. And I only recognized the pattern because the third guy gave me a big smile and said, "This must be your first time here." In retrospect.
Now, why the fuck would he say that? I'll tell you why. Because between your index and your thumb finger, niggas that have sold their souls have a chip. Okay. And I've said this years ago that I believe that these high-level status celebrities and all these people on TV, they have sold their souls by taking this chip. Okay, and where's that chip? Between the index and the thumb in the soft spot. That's what he just said. And they were pressing it. To what? And they said, and the third guy said, "You must be new here." Why would he say that? Because he didn't feel no chip. It makes sense. I'm not saying that was why they did it, because you know you can argue the Masonic handshakes, but none of the Masonic handshakes includes pressing in the soft spot between your thumb and your index finger to know if you're new here or not.
Conversation. And they were frequently introducing themselves to me with their alias, of course. The only thing weird about it was something that I didn't notice until the third person did it. When they shook my hand, they pressed their thumb into the soft part between my thumb and my pointer finger. And I only recognized the pattern because the third guy gave me a big smile and said, "This must be your first time here." In retrospect, this should have alarmed me, but it seemed.
Yeah, that third guy was like, "Yeah, this nigga ain't chipped yet." Welcome to the club, or is what he thought, you know, which maybe this dude did, maybe he didn't. Again, I wasn't there. I'm just trying to connect the dots.
Like they got friendlier when they realized that it was my first time here. So I didn't really think anything of it. But before I got to ask any follow-up questions about this odd handshake, the first grandfather clock chime went off, and everybody excitedly rushed into the second room. When I finally got in there, I was taken aback by the dramatic decor change. Everything in this room was different shades of blue.
He went from the lobby now to a blue room. Next room is a complete blue room.
Was romantic and all the furniture was cabana beds and love seats. I stood there for a second trying to realize what was different, but I couldn't put
What were they doing? Well, let them keep finishing.
my finger on it until some girl walked by and caressed my shoulder in a really flirty manner. The decor changed, but the way everybody was acting was drastically different. Before, everybody seemed to be outgoing and inviting and friendly, but the second they stepped foot into this room, they became touchy, flirty, and suggestive. I was only 19.
Right. So let's go to the scriptures real quick. All right. So they went to this blue room. Okay. Which let me go back to this. This is on the Britannica. Oh, really? Hold on. I don't know why it changed. So the 7 deadly sins, right? Which we can read through it real quick. 7 deadly sins in Roman Catholic theology. The 7 vices, right? That's in which what he's about to describe were the 7 different vices. They or not the 7, but what he's about to explain are the 7 different deadly sins, which came from the Roman Catholic Church. The 7 vices that spur other sins and further immoral behavior. So that's just why they're putting them through these weird old rooms so they can get more and more wicked as they go along, or accept it more and more. Anyway, it says first enumerated by Pope Gregory I the Great in 6th century, so about 500 BC or AD, all right, which was a Jake. It says and elaborated in the 13th century by Saint Thomas Aquinas, which was right about that time where Esau Edom came into the papacy. And then it says the 3 deadly sins no, actually that was the old ones, but they ended up changing them to 7 because it was originally 8. But nonetheless, it says vainglory, pride, greed, covetousness, lust. Hold on. The first one is vainglory, pride, which the first one's pride, greed, then lust, envy, gluttony, which is usually understood to include drunkenness. What else? Greed or covetousness, lust or inordinate or illicit sexual desire. This is the room he just stepped into, the blue room. And if you look over here, the deadly sins that they got this little chart. Guess what? The deadly sins have different colors, right? I mean, according to the Catholic Church, which we know to be the false, not the false beast, the false prophet. Okay, different colors. Look, so he just went into it was, which they, maybe not exactly this order or the same colors, but just pay attention. So that he said he went to the blue room, which really is the lust room. Okay, where people starting to get, let's go back to it. He said bitches starting to act nice and shit.
Trying to realize what was different, but I couldn't put my finger on it until some girl walked by and caressed my shoulder in a really flirty manner. The decor changed, but the way everybody was acting was drastically different. Before, everybody seemed
that's why I mentioned these different colors that they just so happen to put as he's speaking. And what does this tie into? The movie? Why did I mention the movie Eyes Wide Shut? Well, because in the movie, well, you know what? I'll show you in a second, though. I'll show you in a second. I don't want to. Let's just keep going.
Outgoing and inviting and friendly. But the second they stepped foot into this room, they became touchy, flirty, and suggestive. I was
touchy, flirty, and suggestive. That's lust. That's the room he entered into, the lust room, right? Because Esau, he worked on the left hand side, so he got he think he got his own shit going. So he entered into the lust room. That's what I'm saying. This is in no particular order or the color scheme, but just remember the colors. You got yellow, purple, blue, red, orange, green. And that's what the same colors you've been seeing over here with his words.
I was only 19 at the time, so this type of behavior from people that I saw as adults made me extremely
Just think about what else has those colors.
Especially when I saw that the cabana beds had curtains that you could close for privacy. And I realized
that so if that was a pretty much a brothel, right? They had cabanas with you could close the little blinds, get freaky, commit some immoral acts. What it say? Inordinate or illicit sexual desire.
that these people weren't just being suggestive, they meant it. I tried to give David the eyes that I didn't like where this party was going, but he seemed to be really enjoying the female attention, so I was on my own. I basically
See, that's what happens when you're a loser and you come up. You know, the first bitch that bat her eyes at you, you fall as a sucker. And the scriptures tell us that, man. Be not taken by the beauty of a woman, roughly paraphrasing. Many men have gone out their wits for women, especially losers that became TikTokers or Twitch players playing Xbox online and recording it. First time they see a bitch, especially a model or a celebrity bitch, hollering at him, this nigga gonna freak off. He going to the Diddy party.
stayed in perpetual motion and walked laps until the next chime went off. So I didn't have to sit next to anybody for too long and let them get too comfortable. The clock finally went off and everybody rushed to the next room immediately.
Actually, let me go back though, because it mentioned that the immorality of these women, or not, well, that's what they were being. They were being whores. That's why the dude was. That's why he said his friend was such in shock. And what do we know about being enticed by women? Well, we can go to the book of Judges 16:5 and see what happened to one of our forefathers, Samson. Judges 6:15. I'm just going to get straight to the point. And the lords of the Philistines came up unto her and said unto her, entice him and see wherein his great strength lieth, and by what means we may prevail against him, that we may bind him to afflict him, and we will give thee every one of us 1,100 pieces of silver. So that the point being, these men came to a woman so that she could entice a man, right? And now we can go to this clip of Eyes Wide Shut, okay? Which is similar to this guy's little testimony, little freak party in a mansion. So let me just play this real quick. This is one of the scenes here, and look, what lo and behold, what is it? Two women trying to entice him to get to the party, and what's this called? Where the rainbow ends. And how many colors are on the rainbow? Let's look it up. Rainbow. Go to images. One, red, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 deadly sins are all colored. So you see how the devil is trying to recreate this, and that's why they call it the LGBTX community, right? And what did he have to go through in here? He had to go through the different colored rooms, right? What do those 7 colors add up to? A rainbow, or it should be anyway. Something held in righteousness. So let me go ahead and just play this a bit, because again, now we see the 7 colors, right? Well, let's see what happens in the movie. And again, this movie's from 1999. So why would this guy just be randomly making that up? Because nowhere in the movie do they talk about 7 deadly sins and the different colors of the rooms. In the movie, you don't see different color rooms. It's usually red rooms. I mean, maybe if you play real close attention to it, you can see different colors on the walls. But for the most part, you don't see that. So, but why do they allude to the rainbow? Let's find out. Actually, one more scripture before I play this. This is the book of James. Let's see here. James 1:13, I believe it is. James 1:13, it says, let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of the Most High. For the Most High cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempteth he any man. But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust and enticed. Then when lust hath conceived, it bringeth forth sin, and sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death. So this is what these seances and to get you into the entertainment world is all about. Is to entice you to do what? To be drawn away to your lust. And then what does that lead to? It leads to death. Because what? Sin is the wages of death. So we'll get back to this, dude. Let's just play this clip real quick. and the Fair Use Act. All right, just a minute, quick minute.
Usually a lot less than people imagine.
They always seem so knowledgeable.
Oh, they are very knowledgeable about all sorts of...
But I bet they work too hard. Just think.
And if you notice, look at all it just so happens to be Christmas with all the lights, right? The rainbow, red, green, orange. They just so happens in the movie that's the colors they got going on. But okay, let's keep it moving. So they're trying to entice him at this party. They're models. If you watch the movie, you're gonna find out that they're models and they're trying to entice him. Okay.
Of all they miss.
You're probably right. Now, ladies, where exactly are we going?
Yeah, so he's pretty much just a bumbling idiot that's a doctor. But if you again watch the movie, and you're gonna see his friend was went to doctor school with him, and then all of a sudden dropped out to play the piano, and his friend's the piano player friend is the one that leads him to the Illuminati party, if you will. All right, so again, this is 1999.
Exactly.
He said, "Where are we going exactly?"
Where the rainbow ends.
Where the rainbow ends.
Where the rainbow ends.
Don't you want to go where the rainbow ends?
Don't you want to go where the rainbow ends? Where does the rainbow end? In the red room, which we're gonna get to in this video. It actually ends in the red room, or the last room he was in was the red room, but then it goes to the seventh room, which is sloth, which you dead. Which again, the colors might not be in exact order, but that's how he went through the room. We'll get there. But where's the rainbow end? Well, let's see. What is the top of the rainbow? What is the very top color of the rainbow? The red. Okay. The end of the rainbow is red. Why? Because the Esau is trying to put things upside down. Okay. Instead of where it begins, top down, no, it's a up down. You start at pink, which is supposed to be in a violet. That's the children's. Hold on, that's not the actual. Come on now, yeah. Here we go. I'm talking about purple. It's indigo. So like a violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. And she said, don't you want to meet us at the end of the rainbow? What they say in Skittles, taste the rainbow. They're delicious. Yeah, okay. But and if you watch this whole movie, you're gonna see when he really starts to get into this afterwards, the hooker that comes up to him, she's wearing a violet, maybe an indigo dress, and that's when it starts to go all downhill for him. Okay, so let's just finish this and we'll get back into that video. I got plenty more scriptures.
Now that depends where that is.
Well, let's find out.
There it is. You saw that? The rainbow room. Where did he go to get his suit? She said, "Do you want to go to the end of the rainbow?" And then, of course, the director puts it in there. Where did he go get his suit for the costume party? To the rainbow room, or whatever the hell it was called in the movie. Let's see here. Costume rental, rainbow, and it says right here under the rainbow. Under the rainbow. So they said, "Do you want to go to the end of the rainbow?" And what's the end of the rainbow for them? The red room. Watch the movie, you'll see. And then we'll go back to this dude, The Price of Fame. So this is again from 1999. And then this place, the Rainbow Room, or whatever you want to call it, ends up being a child trafficking place. All right. A sex trafficking ring. You just watch the movie. Okay. So we're good on that. Let's go back to this. And then you got, where we at?
The weirdest part was the people that were in the private sections didn't even bother redressing except for the mask. I was in no.
All right, so let me run it back a couple seconds because he said they went into the blue room and then the people were just freaking off. People that got butt naked, behind the curtains, didn't even bother to put clothes back on. Well, what's going on there? What is going on? Well, the lust was going on, and I got Romans chapter 1. We could read that. All right, because this is what Satan wants you to do. Satan wants you to indulge in the evilness of this world. Do as thou wilt. Be a freak, and we'll elevate you. Everyone's gonna know who you are. But if you fuck up, we got you on camera, as we're gonna read in here in the back. What is this? Romans 1, and I'll just get straight to the point because we're gonna come back to Romans 1, verse 24. It says, "Wherefore the Most High also gave them up to uncleanliness through the lust of their own hearts, to dishonor their own bodies between themselves." There you go, man. Just wanted that. And that's what they were doing in this room, as he just explained. Just being a bunch of it was, in other words, that room was an orgy room, right? It was a big orgy in there. Titty bar / brothel / freakism. In other words, the LG community, right? Because don't they use the rainbow now? Don't they use the rainbow for perverseness? So now you're starting to see why they're going through the different colors of the room. Same thing these weirdos do, these moes and these hoes do.
That these people weren't just being suggestive. They meant it. I tried to give David the eyes that I didn't like where this party was going, but he seemed to be really enjoying the female attention, so I was on my own. I basically stayed in perpetual motion and walked laps until the next chime went off, so I didn't have to sit next to anybody for too long and let them get too comfortable. The clock finally went off and everybody rushed to the next room immediately. The weirdest part was the people that were in the private sections didn't even bother redressing except for the mask. I was in no...
It's just a bunch of freaks, man. Just got up, butt ass naked, put the mask on, and went to the next room. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if his story is 100% true, but I guarantee you this happens throughout the months or multiple times a month. All right.
No rush to get to the next room, but I could see into it over.
Because who's blowing up? It's Jake's blowing up, becoming famous, getting money, becoming the greatest. Look, even your idol athlete. Oh, I wish. Oh yeah, LeBron James. Listen, them niggas be in parties just like this, getting cornholed, straight up cornholed. That's why they be sharing all the same women, because it's the same freaks that go to the parties, man. People need to wake up, man. You chasing a bag, this is how you get it, and you're still gonna be destroyed.
The crowd of everybody's head. The walls were bright orange, but the smell.
So we went to now it's another color, a color orange, right? And he's talking about the smells
that were wafting in from that room were amazing. And when I finally got in there, it was like the Hogwarts feast. It was table after table of the most delicious spreads I've ever seen. There was full tables for seafood, full tables for meats, full tables of sushi, and an entire wall of spirits.
All right, so you had drink, you had food, and what was that? They say orange room. What was orange? Gluttony, including excess of drinking. Can I go back? Nope. Including excess drinking. So he said they had food, all kind of foods, and the spirits, the liquors. So now them celebrities going, well, let me just keep it playing oh man, good Lord, these people need death. But so there's food and liquor in there.
Almost started enjoying myself. Until I saw the way these people were treating this food. They were disrespectfully biting chunks out of delicious prime rib roasts. They were
right here. It is. People are starving to death around the world, even down the street, maybe, or a couple minutes away from the city that they were at. And they just spitting. They just abusing the food, not even eating it, mashing it up, having a food. What they call it, a food fight. These people are demonic, man. And anybody who wants to be part of the Hollywood culture, be a superstar Israelite, okay, be a famous rapper, NBA All-Star. This is what awaits you, man. Debauchery, straight up debauchery and perverseness, man. The Lord despises this kind of behavior. Listen to this.
Just shoving copious amounts of high-grade sashimi into their mouths and eating caviar like it was cereal.
Most people don't even know what sashimi and caviar is. These niggas just eating it like he said they're eating it like cereal. Hey, this is where the Rainbow Road leads, my man. To the tuxedo rental, costume rental for these freak parties. Let's see. I think this is they don't show it in this. We good on that.
The way that they were just grabbing with their hands and just spitting out things that they didn't like onto the floor ruined my appetite. At this point, I wanted nothing.
Yeah, so they were just being gluttonous, and again that was one of the the 7 deadly sins as the Catholic Church put on it. But I got some scriptures here, and I might you know what? So like, give me 1 second. Let me go get my GNT. Bear with me 1 second. I got it. All right. Let me read the King James Version first. Reading the King James Version first. This is Sirach chapter 31. This is for the gluttony room, or the orange room as he called it. This is Sirach 31 and 12. It says, if thou sit at a bountiful table, that's what he just said, right? It was sushi table. What do you say right here? Go back.
Walls were bright orange, but the smells that were wafting in from that room were amazing. And when I finally got in there, it was like the Hogwarts feast. It was table after table of the most delicious spreads I've ever seen. There was full tables for seafood, full tables for meats, full tables of sushi, and an entire wall of spirits.
Right, so shit that most people will never eat in their lives. It says, if Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus, or Sirach, chapter 31, verse 12, if thou sit at a bountiful table, be not greedy upon it, and say not, there is much meat on it. Remember that a wicked eye is an evil thing, and that is created more wicked than an eye. So like it, and what is created more wicked than an eye? Therefore, it weepeth upon every occasion. Yeah, man. So let me read that to GNT. You see a bountiful table like this man's explaining. These motherfuckers are spitting out food, as if. That's the people that others look up to, because we don't look up to these celebrities. We already know that there's some degenerate pieces of shit that deserve to be put to death. All right, lest they repent, which, as I said earlier, most likely they can't repent because they probably already got the chip, and that's why they checked your fucking hand. Oh, you must be new here, because they don't feel a chip in your hand. If you don't know what I'm talking about, run it back and then watch the video again. The Sirach 31 and verse 12 in the GNT, it says, and is headed with behavior at dinner parties. And this is supposed to be a party, right? And that's the dinner, or the food course, right? It says, when you sit down at a fancy banquet, don't let your mouth hang open, and don't say, look at all that food. It is impolite to have a greedy eye. Remember that. Nothing in creation is greedier than the eye. That is why it sheds tears so often. There you go, man. There you go. These motherfuckers was stuffing food in their mouths like a bunch of savages and spitting it out, laughing. You can only imagine. This is a freak party. And I wouldn't even want to be there. I would have. Anyway.
Almost started enjoying myself again until I saw.
Salaki, one more verse in the book of Sirach on the orange room. Sirach 37 and 29, it reads, be not unsatiable in any dainty thing, nor too greedy upon meats. For excess of meats bringeth sickness, and surfeiting will turn into choler. Right. And it does, because you're about to see the next room, the champagne room. It says, by surfeiting many have perished, but he that taketh heed prolongeth his life. Let's read that in the GNT so we can make it a little plainer for those so better understanding for those that don't know the Old English too well, like we do. Sirach 37 and verse 29. I started 27. Yeah, I'll start at verse 27. Sirach 39 and 27. Oh no, Sirach 37 and 27. My child, as you go through life, keep your appetite under control. And that's what he just described the opposite of with the gluttony room, right? The orange room, where there's abundance of food and spirits. That's what he just described. The orange room. It says, and don't eat anything that you know is bad for you. All food doesn't agree with everyone, and everyone doesn't like the same kind of foods. Don't feel that you just have to have all sorts of fancy food and the sashimi and the sushi, right? And don't be a glutton over any food. If you eat too much, you will get sick. If you do it all the time, you will always have stomach trouble. Gluttony has been the death of many people. Avoid it and live longer. There you go, man. And again, they're pushing them on through these rooms to prepare them for the worst, or prepare them to sell their souls, really. All right. Let me go ahead.
All the way these people were treating this food. They were disrespectfully biting chunks out of delicious prime dressing, except for the mask. I was in no rush to get to the next room, but I could see into it over the crowd of everybody's head. The walls were bright orange, but the smells that were wafting in from that room were amazing. And when I finally got in there, it was like the Hogwarts feast. It was table after table of the most delicious spreads I've ever seen. There was full tables for seafood, full tables for meats, full tables of sushi, and an entire wall of spirits. I almost started enjoying myself again. Until I saw the way these people were treating this food. They were disrespectfully biting chunks out of delicious prime rib roasts. They were just shoving copious amounts of high-grade sashimi into their mouths and eating caviar like it was cereal. The way that they were just grabbing with their hands and just spitting out things that they didn't like onto the floor ruined my appetite. At this point, I wanted nothing to do with these people. So I went up to the only familiar face in the room. The agent that invited me was the only other person not eating. So I approached him and lifted up my mask, so he'd recognize me, considering we'd only met one time. Before I even got out my greeting or got my mask halfway off my face, he abruptly pressed my mask back into place and sharply said, "Masks stay on till the 6th room." He did it in a way that seemed like I was embarrassing him for not knowing the rules. So to ease the tension, I jokingly replied, "So we're only halfway there, huh?" He didn't laugh or make eye contact. He just dismissively replied, "I encourage you to engage in the festivities. A slow drip is better than a flood." He started to walk towards the door as the clock chimed for the next room, like he knew it was about to go off. I didn't like that interaction at all. He's the one that invited me here, and he seemed to have no interest in talking to me. I just kept going over what he said the entire time while we were in the next room. This room was yellow and basically just a casino. I wanted to talk to David.
Yeah, so now they're in the yellow room, right? The yellow room was yellow. Greed or covetousness. Greed or covetousness. All right. And we know what that goes into, right? Well, what people trying to well, let me just get it. Luke chapter 12 is Luke 12 and 15. And it reads, "And he said unto them, take heed and beware of covetousness, for a man's life consisteth not in the abundance of things which he possesseth. So literally there's scriptures for every one of these rooms showing you that they're leading you away from the Most High so that you can get the fame and the glory, so that you can become the idol, right? Which the Most High told us not to worship idols, right? Because who's your idol? They ask you, who's your idol? Michael Jackson or Michael Jordan? The yellow room. Let's go into the yellow room
privately and let him know that I wanted to leave, but he seemed to just be caught up in the momentum of the party. Plus, there was a roulette table in the room, and David's freakishly good at roulette. So at this point, the winning streak that he's building is the center point of the party. I can't fully focus on what the agent said to me because I have to pretend to be excited about David's winning streak in a fake casino where you're not actually winning money. And like clockwork, the chime goes off. The entire party starts rushing to the next room again, and the vibe.
Yeah, so another one in that room, that gluttony or the greed room. Luke 6 and 24, but woe unto you that are rich, for ye have received your consolation. So you try to go the easy route to get riches or do some abominational things because you're greedy, you're lustful, you're envious, you're glutton, you're angry because you ain't living the life you see others live. And it's the social media has broadcasted this around the world, man. Pride, greed, lust, envy, gluttony, wrath, and slothfulness. Come on, man. which again, we went into the history of it. But the social media era, the internet has expanded and propagated this through the four corners of the earth. And that's why you see people drinking of the juice of Babylon. Because who do you think's doing this? Huh? Who do you think's pushing this out? Is it the Koreans? Nope. Let's keep going though.
Changes dramatically. I'm the last person to walk into the bright red room, next room again, and the not actually winning money. And like clockwork, the chime goes off. The entire party starts rushing to the next room again, and the vibe changes dramatically. I'm the last person to walk into the bright red room. This room didn't seem to have a specific activity like the others. It was just empty.
So what do you say? Let's go back. The red room, right? The last room. And like we know that the top of the rainbow is red. So that's, again, going back to the clip that we saw from Eyes Wide Shut. They said, meet us at, or don't you want to have fun at the end of the rainbow? You got to get to the end of the room. You got to get to the last room. All right. And continue past that. Right. Look, Roy G. Biv. That's what they call it. Roy G. Biv. Red being the first color. But in this case, Esau with his things, flipping things upside down. Right. That's what the scriptures say. Flipping things upside down. So he flipped the rainbow upside down. And the last color will be red.
And bright red, and everybody was whispering to each other. For a split second, I thought it might be a big game of telephone or something silly like that. But as
and what does red mean again? Wrath or anger, or at least that last room does. You know, you'll see why. Or it could be envy. We'll see.
I started walking through and brushing shoulders with these people and hearing what they were saying to each other, I started.
Nah, but we know it's red because in the movie, The End of the Rainbow, and remember he mentioned something earlier today. He mentioned it earlier. He said about the seventh level or some shit like that. Which again, there's 7 colors on the rainbow.
Started questioning everything. The same people that I saw laughing and celebrating and eating together were whispering the most heinous, offensive comments directly to each other. I mean,
so that's definitely hate and anger, you know. And again, this is a fucking seance, man. This is a ritual. You got to do this, then you got to do that, then you got to do it there. This is a rituals on the left hand side.
things that you wouldn't even say behind your friend's back, they were saying it to their face. I'm talking friendship-ending secrets and personal opinions about each other, laced with envy and jealousy. I hurried to a quiet corner, because I was sick of hearing everybody's dirty laundry after walking around for a minute and a half. And it all clicked. I knew exactly what this party was. I see the host ask the first person in line a question before having them repeat something that he said. When I tell you I am done with this party, I'm absolutely not doing that. All the dots start connecting in my head while everybody's being horrible to each other around me.
All right, so while everybody's being horrible around each other, they're just preparing them, right? They started off with fun, good times, and that's usually how the devil gets you. Show you the good times, then he gets, indulging in the food, in the spirits, get gambled, get greedy, in other words, get the money up for doing nothing. And then boom, you get into that red room, then it's on. Now you gotta, now niggas talking shit. Now niggas is exposing you. Niggas whispering. And that's another, I forgot what term. Damn, I forgot what word it is, but that's the, okay. We're gonna get to it. It's, we'll get to it. Lord's will.
Trying to recap the whole night and remember the order of each room to solidify my suspicions. But the chime for the next room.
Yeah, so do you think this is coincidence? Because he didn't say nothing about the rainbow room, right? He didn't say nothing about the movie, and even in the movie, they don't reference the rainbow. You just have to catch it while you're watching the movie. They're not going to say it in the movie. They don't say it. The only time you hear the word rainbow is when them two bitches that I showed you was trying to entice him, all right, to come to the end of the rainbow. You had to put 2 and 2 together, because then where does he go to get his costume? He goes to the rainbow.
room goes off. This time, everybody gets eerily quiet and calm, like they got all of their venom out. The host of the party announces for all of the newcomers to come to the my head, while everybody's being horrible to each other around me. I'm trying to recap the whole night and remember the order of each room to solidify my suspicions, but the chime for the next room goes off. This time, everybody gets eerily quiet and calm, like they got all of their venom out. The host of the party announces for all of the newcomers to come to the front. All of the attendees form a single file line in front of the next room's door. There's about 10 other newcomers.
Right, so all the people that been there, the ones that got the chip, right? If you go back to the beginning of the video, niggas shaking hands to find out who got the chip. I perceive that's what it was for. So they stayed on one side of the line, and then the newcomers, the ones with the ain't got no chip, they can't fake they newcomers because they ain't got no chip. That's why they shook their hands and pressed down between the thumb and the index finger.
Comers in front of me and David, and the agent that invited us is standing to the left of the door, and the host of the party is standing to the right. The host has a pile of books on the table next to him. I see the host ask the first person in line a question and then grab a book based on his answer. He would present the book to the person and place a diamond-shaped metal symbol on top of it before having them repeat something that he said. Then he'd take their mask off and let them enter the next room. I couldn't make out exactly.
Yeah, because now you can undisclose your identity because you just chosen. Right? You chose, like Joshua said, choose ye this day. Well, these people have chosen that day. They chose to serve Satan. All right? They chose to serve Satan. And then you read Revelation 13, and this is leading right up to it. Because this is what's going to happen. You're going to have to make a choice. You're going to get to that red room, so to say, and you're going to have to make a choice whether you want to serve Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, or you want to serve the devil. So check it out. See what them books are.
What he was doing until there was a single file based on his next to him. I see the host ask the first person in line a question and then grab a book based on his answer. He would present the book to the person and place a diamond-shaped metal symbol on top of it before having them repeat something that he said. Then he'd take their mask off and let them enter the next room. I couldn't make out exactly what he was doing until there was only 2 people ahead of me in line. The books were Bibles, Qurans, Torahs, and so on. He would ask the
your religion, your faith, what you believe in. You're gonna have to denounce that to take the chip. And as we've been seeing, that his homeboy, he was having a good old time. Well, why do you think that is? Because as he said earlier in the video, he thought if he was gonna go to the party and leave rich. That, out of his own words, that's what he said. He said he was gonna go to the party and leave rich. Then he saw the fuckery. I mean, if that's true anyway, it could just be controlled opposition. But nonetheless, 1 Timothy 6:10. Let's see what that says. For the love of money is the root of all evil. All right. And what do you think these people are doing at them parties? They're trying to keep that cash, or they're trying to make some more. They're trying to explode. They're trying to get the clout. They're trying to, get all the things that come in with Hollywood or the NFL or the NBA. That's why certain players are better than others. Maybe it's sheer talent. Or maybe these guys are in seances doing some black magic that you don't even want to know what consists of that. Maybe that's why they're better than others. Are you telling me that's not possible? We have countless accounts in the scriptures tell us that rituals and witchcraft is real. So do you believe that? You're an Israelite. Do you believe that these guys are doing that? Going to these rooms and doing seances and doing all this witchcraft? Don't worry. We're not done yet.
person, and which one is yours? Whichever.
Let me finish that. 1 Timothy 6:10. For the love of money is the root of all evil, while which some coveted after, right, that greed, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. Of course, there'll be people in this truth that bow out because they want the bag. We're seeing it now. But there's people in the world every day selling out. LA is a cesspool of wickedness. Miami, New York, these major cities is a cesspool of wickedness. And there's backroom casting, the casting couch. That's what it is. Yeah, they got that going on every day. Watch the movie again. Eyes Wide Shut. Those would be modern day bitches on OnlyFans, Instagram, Pornhub. That's why they're to be so bugged out and dying early as hell, miserable, crying on the internet because they're not able to speak on what they see. Because as he read earlier in the video, or as what he said earlier in the video, they have to sign NDAs. And if you break that, guess what? Then all of a sudden you're a rapist from 20 years ago. Women from 20 years ago start speaking up. Or maybe you just end up dead in a plane crash or a drug overdose. You have to remember when you sell your soul to Satan, he don't give a shit. He's already won. He don't owe you nothing. He did his job and you failed.
Whenever they chose, he'd grab it and place the metal symbol on top of it. He'd have you put your hand on top of the metal symbol and then repeat, "I am my own God. I bow to nobody but myself." When I tell you I am done with this party, and I whip my head around and I tell David I am absolutely not doing that. David whispered back in a joking tone like he always does, "Dude, it's just a party. Who cares? I'll see you in the next room." And he skipped me in line to show me that he'd do it first to make me feel more comfortable.
Following out of wickedness, do multitude. I believe a brother put that up earlier.
He went through with it and giggled his way into the next room. It was my turn, so I tried to play it cool and whisper to the
giggle your way into the room. Be a clown. Don't be a fool for righteousness' sake. Be a fool for the devils, and you're gonna become the next Google person on the planet, or maybe you're gonna explode on TikTok, or maybe you're gonna get Instagram and YouTube followers overnight. Somehow you got 1 million followers overnight. You got a plaque in the background. Come on, man.
The host, "Do you mind if I skip this part? It's making me a little bit uncomfortable." I thought he'd...
And remember, now that we've established the rainbow in the different rooms, why is he still using the different colors for different sentences?
Subtly break character and reassure me that this is just a party theme and it's all good. Instead, he whispered back to me in a really kind tone, "Of course, man, don't worry about it. Just take your mask off and turn around." I was relieved for about a split second before the agent that invited me here grabbed my arm and started guiding me towards the exit. And I see that everybody that was behind me in line staring at me.
Yeah, watch the movie, same movie we've been talking about, Eyes Wide Shut. That's the peer pressure. Oh, you don't want to do that? Oh, well, everybody looking at you. And most people are going to fold under pressure, but the elect won't. Because this is just small glimpse. You see these celebrities selling out for to be celebrities, and be athletes. That's coming to everybody around you soon. And you're not even going to get to dribble the ball down the court and slam dunk. You're just going to be a fucking dumbass that takes a chip. And they're going to be checking your thumb, between your thumb and your index, like he mentioned earlier. And he didn't mention nothing about no chip. I just perceived that that's why they would press down, all right, on between your thumb and your index finger. Why else would they do that? Masons didn't do that, because I looked up the Mason handshakes, and none of them showed forcefully pushing down on between that.
Straight-faced. I look back at the host and he's standing up and loudly shouts like he's starting a chant. The price was not paid. And then everybody in line that was staring at me chants in unison like they knew exactly what to do. Remove the profane. And they repeated over and over until I'm through the exit door. The price was not paid. Remove the profane. The price was not paid. Remove the profane. So
what price wasn't paid? He didn't pay with his soul. He didn't sell his soul. It was, according to the story, he didn't go to the next room and continue the things that would have led him to sell his soul, right? Because we're going to go into the very next room was going to be some debauchery and some profane things. But they're saying that he's profane by not being profane, all right? Because watch how he explains the next room through the peep window or whatever. But it's all going to make sense, because they're saying he's not he's profane. But it's really, like we've been saying, that turning the things upside down. They saying the celebrities that call you profane, all right, these wicked people will call you profane because you don't want to profane the Lord, if that makes sense.
The agent just walks me to the closest door. He doesn't.
And as a matter of fact, here it is. Romans 1:28. And even as they did not like to retain God in their knowledge, the Most High gave them over to a reprobate mind to do those things which are not convenient. Right. So they'll shame you in these wicked little parties, right? The Diddy party for not want to do an abomination and to sell your soul or denounce the Lord. They'll tell you profane for not denouncing the Lord. But in the next room, they're gonna be doing things that are not convenient, reprobate, really profane. That's why it was the red room. Remember that Scarlet Beast?
Doesn't even walk me to the front of the party and out the front door. He just puts me out into the backyard. It's 4 a.m. My friend's still inside. I don't have my phone. So I decide to walk around the right side of the house because that's where all of the party attendees were kind of headed. Let me see if I could peek in and maybe flag down David to let him know I got kicked out. And there's some windows to the next room. But of course, these windows are like big church stained glass windows. And you can't.
Yeah, so what was that? That was their altar, their little priesthood. Right? The next room, if you had to denounce the Lord or denounce your religion to get into this room where it looked, as in his words, it looked like a church. It looked like, what do you do? What they were doing sacrifices in there, seances. All right. What were they doing? They were doing witchcraft in there. And he doesn't even go into details, but we already know what it is. That black magic, all right? They call it anal magic because, he said it was 11 people. He didn't mention if it was women or men. Watch the movie Eyes Wide Shut. And we know what goes down in these backdoor parties. Niggas got through the back door. Casting couch. Selling their soul. And again, remember, the people that would been there, they was able to identify he wasn't a part of the crew, or he was new there because they would shake his hand and feel between his thumb and his index finger. Come on, man. This nigga didn't mention nothing about the mark of the beast. I'm telling you, that's how they check. If you plugged in, man. You think this is the first time they've been chipping people? Man, they've been doing this for decades. They've been doing this for decades. The Masons, Freemasons shook hands back in the 1792 or 1852 a certain way, just to acknowledge that I'm part of the crew. Now they can just feel this to really see if you're part of the crew. If you got the chip or not. You think people ain't chipped up yet? You're not living in reality. There's people, these motherfuckers you see on Hollywood and TV, rappers, NBA players, them motherfuckers got chips, man. They got chips. You best believe that. You don't have to believe it, but hey, go shake their hands and find out.
Can't really see through stained glass windows like the colored ones, but if you go really, really close and
right, like again, like he said, churches got the stained glass windows, so clearly the next room past that red room where you was talking shit and had to get it and denounce the Lord. Now you go in there to this church-like setting, right? Their temple.
you look through the white.
Let's get a quick scripture on that. Deuteronomy, was it Deuteronomy 18? Deuteronomy 18 in verse 10 says, "There shall not be found among you anyone that maketh his son or his daughter to pass through the fire, or that useth divination, or an observer of times, or an enchanter, or a witch, or a charmer, or a consulter with familiar spirits, or a wizard, or a necromancer. For all that do these things are an abomination unto the Lord, and because of these abominations, the Lord thy power doth drive them out from before thee." So you want to partake in this witchcraft, already having you put mask on and have orgies and do fucking food fights and oh, and even more, right? Because this nigga said he signed an NDAA. So how the fuck's he saying this shit? So we know there's more to this. whether the story is real or not. We know this is going down every day, or maybe every week. Who knows? There's some bunch of freaks everywhere in major cities, man, looking for souls they can devour. That's what Satan is doing, like a roaring lion. But our people love this. Our people love to indulge in the wickedness. So let's keep going though. This is where the wickedness is going to get you into that last room, right? You want to get the bag. You want to be champion. You want to do this. You want to do that. This is where it's going to lead you.
Parts. You could kind of see clearly what is on the inside. And this room is like a bizarre. Can't really see through stained glass windows like the colored ones, but if you go really, really close and you look through the white parts, you could kind of see clearly what is on the inside. And this room is like a bizarre church replica without all of the seating. It's just a big church-like room. And all of the people that were in there had their masks off. And it was like a big circle and it almost looked like an initiation. And all of the
Right, like you see in the movie, as you see in the thumbnail, it's a big circle. It's a ritual. They're standing around these clowns, just like the back of his blanket right here, right? Come on, man. It's an initiation, like he said. It's an initiation to worshiping the beast. Read the book of Revelation 13. Talks about them that worship the beast. Revelation 14, right? You're gonna have to make a choice very soon whether you're going to worship the beast. See, these queers that they get clout, they've already submitted, whether they have a chip or not. I believe they do. I've said this before, that these motherfuckers that get on these higher levels, they got the chip, bro. There's no way Esau gonna let you become a billionaire or a millionaire and get on all this. You're the most Google man on the place without no fucking chip. I don't believe it. He would have just killed you by now.
these celebrities are standing.
The devil's killed people for less. He's killing people in Gaza for walking down the street. You think he won't kill you because you're speaking out against him? Fuck out of here. Controlled opposition.
Around in a circle around the other 9 new people. It was 10 excluding me, and there was big TV grade cameras recording.
Yeah, got you on 480 or what? 144p. Got you on the best, the 8K television screen, doing these abominable acts, right? Do you get? Let's go back to Romans chapter 1. Romans 1 and 20. I'll start at 29 now. We read 28. Romans 29, 1 and 29. Being filled with all unrighteousness, fornication, wickedness, covetousness, maliciousness, full of envy, murder, debate, deceit, malignity, whisperers. Didn't we read that in the red room? They were whispering, talking shit about each other, envying each other, debating, deceiving one another. And then the blue room was fornication, wickedness, covetousness, maliciousness. In the orange room with the food and all that. Verse 30, Romans 1:30, backbiters, haters of the Most High, despiteful. That's why they denounce their religion, right? Proud, boasters, inventors of evil things, disobedient to parents, without understanding, covenant breakers, without natural affection, implacable, unmerciful, who knowing the judgment of the Most High, that they which commit such things are worthy of death, not only to do the same, but have pleasure in them that do them. So yeah, you on them weirdo parties, you all guilty.
And it looked like the group of celebrities and everybody else that was there was kind of cheering them on. But then there was clearly people in there that were much more serious and kind of threatening. And the 10 new people were in the middle of this room being forced to do horrible things that I wish I could unsee.
Yeah, that's why a lot of these Disney stars and these young actors, they end up bugging out. Or they go through some crack or some heroin. They addicted to drugs until they get back. You know, come on, man. These people are fucking doing these wicked things in these rooms behind closed doors, man. That's why they always wearing shades, black shades, in the fucking dark ass room. They don't know what to see them panda eyes.
And the new people clearly didn't want to do these things. They were being forced to do these things. And they were clearly recording it. And
nope, you're not forced to do nothing because they by their own fruition denounced the Lord or their religion and went in there and did them wicked acts. So ain't nobody getting forced. You chose to be the demon that you are. Don't blame nobody else. You chose to be the faggot. You chose to do the decrepit debauchery. That's your choice. You chose to do that. And the Lord allowed you to do that, gave you up to your own vile affections, as the book of Romans 1 says. And now you got to pay for the crimes, right? You thought you was going to get some money and some fame and you was going to be good, but now the Lord's going to require all that wickedness from you.
See my friend being forced to do these horrible things in front of these people and in front of these cameras. I just start panicking. I don't know what to do. So in my head, I'm like, I just need to get out of here. So I start speed walking to the front of the house, and I'm thinking I need to get out of this gate. There's only one.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it. You know, I mean, there's still another 15 minutes left on it, but that's pretty much it that I wanted on that. You know, we ain't really got to go too much into the rest of that because, you know, you just watch the rest of the video, you know. But it says what it says. He said what it says. We brought out the scriptures, watch the movie, correlate the rainbow shit I was showing you with the colors of the 7 deadly sins that Dave self-proposed, you know. So I'll leave y'all on one more couple of verses here. Luke chapter 21 and 34 says, "And take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness and cares of this life, and so that day come upon you unawares." Because that's why these people get into them situations. They get overcharged with all these surfeiting and drunkenness and cares of this life. They want to be rich. They want status, the clout. We don't give a damn about none of that. We just want to serve Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai. All right. These people want to be seen of men and get their own vainglory, which that's another one. If you go into the original deadly sins, it was actually 8 of them, you know, so which one of them was vainglory, the original 8. So, man, these people are through, man. They're going through all these. So, like, here, I thought you could see me. Yeah, you could, yeah. But you know, all these people go through these wicked acts, man, just to get some screen time. And then you keep watching the video. He says these people, they all went down. All the people that went to the party with him or whatever the case may have been, they all end up losers. Look at P. Diddy. Look at what's his name? Bill Cosby. You know, so the R. Kelly. The list goes on and on. You know, you go to them parties just to get sell your soul, right? And then when the devil don't want you no more, you disagree with him one time, you out the back door. That nigga don't care about you. Never trust thine enemy. Yeah. So they take heed to this. You know, I just wanted to bring that out, to break that video down with the movie, and bring out precepts. You know, because this is a real thing. This is actually happening, man. We fighting against spiritual wickedness in high places, man. And the things they do behind closed doors is to summon Satan and to do all kind of things. But that's why they're trying to sell everybody out and throw them under the bus, because they know they shit's failing them now. But best believe there's still whores and dumbasses on social media partaking in these parties and whatnot, which they call it parties. I call it rituals, but it is what it is. So, you know, Lord's willing, this was edifying. Went a little longer than I thought, but hey, I'm going to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Hashem, Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the elder apostles, great millstone, who are well. Shalom. Much love to the elected Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai.